All right, everybody. It is November the 18th, 2020, but welcome to Belovsky Science. Uh, Today we are finishing up chapter 20, lesson 2, and we are starting lesson 3. A couple of reminders for those of you that are absent, for those of you that are blended. Your progress reports tomorrow is the last day I will accept them. So if you are at home and you're a blended student, then you need to mail that thing in with a signature on it, and you need to mail it into the school, Decatur Middle School, and you need to put on there attention Nick Belovsky, and they'll put it in my box. And it can be postmarked no later than tomorrow. So it has to be mailed tomorrow. For you regular students, traditional students, you can get your sign, bring it in to me, and make sure you show it to me at some point tomorrow to get the free 100 points. And that will be tomorrow. Now you got them on Monday, you had Tuesday, you had Wednesday, and you've got Thursday to get those things turned in to me. Thursday, the last day. You're going to have a test after Thanksgiving on chapter 20. Most likely it will be the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Won't do it to you on the Monday afterwards. We'll probably do some sort of review. But you do have a test coming up. And today you have chapter 20, lesson 2 review sheet due. So that would be, let's go over here. That would be this item right here, chapter 20, lesson 2. And it says right there, due today at 3:30. And it is 2:55 right now. So make sure if you're watching this, and it is, it has, if I have it posted, and make sure you get it turned in before 3:30. I doubt very seriously, though, that you'll watch this and you'll still have time to be able to get it in. So make sure, though, that you do turn it in so that you can get partial credit for it if it's going to be late. And so trying to think if there's anything else that I need to talk about, and I don't think there is. All right, so the beginning of class today, we went over the chapter 20, lesson 2 to make sure folks had proper answers written in, and then I told them to turn it in so that they could get credit for it. All right, so let's talk about chapter 20, section 3. So let's get started here. What you need to do is you need to pop open this review sheet, and you need to put the textbook on half of your book somehow or another, or half of your computer screen. And basically, I'm going to go over some of the definitions with you today. And I got to draw a picture, and I'm trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to draw it because I'm a horrible drawer on this thing. So, oh my, something for you to look forward to, I guess. All right, so I'm going to click on the book right here, and we need to scroll down to where lesson 3 is. And on your review sheet that you got there, you need to scroll down to where number 24 is. Now, remember, don't be doing the answers up here. You need to scroll down to where number 24 is, and we're going to answer some of these today in class. So, all right, to start off with, all right, we've been talking about cycles, the water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle. All right, and cycles do not have a beginning or an end. They are continuous over and over and over and over again. What we're going to talk about today is a flow. We're going to talk about how energy flows through the ecosystem that we live in here. All right, so what is an example of that? Okay, well, here's where I get to draw a picture. All right, we're going to start out with, all right, a flow chart, and I got to sneeze. Excuse me. All right, I think I should be good. A type of flow chart is this. I'm going to draw a picture of what looks like a sun here. All right. And the sun is where all energy on Earth, I got to sneeze again. It went away. All right, is where all energy begins. Sorry, I know y'all are laughing at me. And that is a horrible looking sun. It looks like a stick figure with a head and hair. Anyway, that's the sun. And the sun gives its energy. This is an arrow. It gives its energy to grass. So let's draw some grass. All right. Now, this energy from the grass gets its energy from the sun. So now the grass is going to give its energy to, let's say, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. Oh, and you can't see that. So let's try again. Let's get a color that you can see. Here we go. Mr. Bunny Rabbit. And there's the eye and the head. Ooh, it's got a lopsided head, and its ears don't look very good either. But you can get the idea that I'm trying to draw a bunny rabbit here. All right, so there's a bunny rabbit. All right, now, what eats the bunny rabbit? All right, well, here in North Alabama, there's a bunch of things that might be eaten on that bunny rabbit. So that bunny rabbit is going to be eaten by maybe a snake, maybe a coyote, maybe a fox, or maybe no, it's not a ghost. An eagle. All right. A very bad eagle, but you get the idea. This is a flow. A flow is this: an eagle gets its energy from a rabbit. The rabbit got its energy from grass. Grass gets its energy from the sun. And to be very honest with you, this flow chart right here is not done because there's one more step that must be made. What would get energy, for example, from the hawk? Okay. And you'd be sitting there thinking, okay, what eats a hawk? Well, don't think about what eats a hawk or an eagle when it dies. Or what eats the hawk or eagle when it dies. That's right. It's bacteria. So I'm just drawing a bunch of bacteria here because now they're going to get their energy from the hawk or eagle. So this right here is a flow chart. Okay. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how things flow. All right. So let's start off with there's two basic types of organisms: producers and consumers. All right. So number 24 on your sheet, on your review sheet, is producer. All right. So what is a producer? All right. A producer is right here. Producers make their own food. That's what you need to write in. Hit pause and type it in. All right. So I'm going to check to make sure that I gave you the right number. Yes. Producer is number 24. They make their own food. So producer is anything on earth that can make their own food. And we've talked a bunch about plants. And yes, plants make their own food through a process that is called photosynthesis. So what do you need to write down for photosynthesis? You need to write down all of this right here. I'm not even, well, look at me. I cannot draw a straight line at all. All right, let's try again. A photosynthesis, and here I am going to draw in it. Right there. Photosynthesis is a series of chemical reactions that convert light, energy, water, carbon dioxide into the food energy molecule, glucose, and give off oxygen. Hit pause and we'll talk about it. Hit my elbow. All right. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants make food. Okay. Here, right here is photosynthesis. And to put it in just basic terms, here you've got a sunflower, which is a plant. It gets energy from sunlight. It takes carbon dioxide that it pulls in through its leaves, and it takes water that it pulls in through its roots. It takes these three things, combines them together, and it makes sugar, which it keeps, and it also makes oxygen, which is a waste product, and it gets rid of it. That is as simple as I can explain photosynthesis. Taking light, you're taking carbon dioxide and water, combining them together, and you get oxygen and sugar. Okay? Now, that is one type of producer. Okay? They producers are that these are photos that do photosynthesis. Another group is a group that is called that does chemosynthesis. Now, if you'll remember, I told y'all at the very beginning of the school year, photosynthesis. Photo is it means light. Synthesis means to make. So when a plant does photosynthesis, it is making food out of light. Okay. Well, chemosynthesis is something a little bit more. All right. So what is it? Okay. Well, let's write this down. Chemosynthesis is the process during which producers use chemical energy in matter rather than light energy and make food. All right, so this, what I'm circling here, is what you need. Chemosynthesis is the process during which producers use chemical energy in matter rather than light energy to make food. Hit pause and I'll talk about it. Okay, so photo means light, means to use light to make food. Chemo is chemical. In other words, chemicals are used to make food for the plant or for the organism, whatever it may be. All right, so what is an example of chemosynthesis? Here's an example of it right here. Here is a thermal vent that is deep down in the ocean. There are creatures that never see sunlight. Now, it's hard to believe, but if you go down to the very bottoms of the oceans, like where this right here, this is a hydrothermal vent. This is at the bottom of the ocean. It looks like a volcano erupting. Well, actually, what you're looking at is underwater, deep, deep at the ocean's bottom, where no sunlight ever reaches. And what happens is the ocean's floor, it soaks in water. And then the water is superheated by the melted rocks that are underneath the ocean floor and the lava. I guess actually I should say magma since it hasn't reached the Earth's surface. And it superheats the water, and the water comes up through these holes in the seafloor, and it spews out these chemicals that you see here. All right. Well, there's creatures that love to live around these things at the bottom of the ocean. All right, such as you got fish here. All right, they hang out next to these hydrothermal vents. They soak in carbon dioxide, water, and they soak in the hydrogen sulfide that you see here, which comes through the hydrothermal vent. Then on the inside of the body, the organism will make sugars. And if you'll see right here, it says sugar is formed. And it can make itself energy that way. Now, it can also chase down and eat these other smaller fish and steal their energy as well. But they do have a way of making their own energy, and it is through chemosynthesis. All right. So chemosynthesis is making a food using chemicals. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit. All right. So the two types of producers are organisms that make food by photosynthesis and organisms that make food by chemosynthesis. Now let's talk about things that are not producers. Producers make their own food. However, consumers do not make their own food. we have to have, um, we eat producers or other consumers. Huh? What? Say what now? Okay, so let's write our next word. And I need to scroll down just a little bit. All right. The next word is a herbivore. And an herbivore eats only plants. An herbivore is a creature that only eats plants. Hit pause. All right, so what am I talking about? All right, well, there are creatures out there that only eat plants, and here are some of them right here. We got deer, we got giraffe, we got little ducks, we got the hummingbird, we got the elephants, we got the pandas, we got the koala. These are creatures that only eat plant life. They do not go hunting for other creatures. Okay, you will never see a duck going and hunting down a bunny rabbit. It's not going to happen. Okay. Um, Now, so an herbivore eats only plants. Okay. Now, the next word is a carnivore. Trying to be neat. Carnivores eat other animals. All right, hit pause and type that in. All right. A carnivore only eats meat. What about when it gets hungry? It only eats meat. What if it can't find any meat? It only eats meat. Then it goes hungry if it can't find it, and it will starve to death. Here are some carnivores. Mr. Lion, Mr. Mountain Lion. We've got wolf. Looks like we still got wolves here. More lions. All right, so that looks like the lots of them are cats. That cat right there needs to put on some weight. He's going hungry. All right. So carnivores only eat meat. They are the meat eaters. And if you're thinking, well, that's me. No, we are not. We are not carnivores. Well, then what are we? All right. The next word that you need to write down: omnivore. And an omnivore eats both producers and consumers. In other words, we eat meat and we eat plants. Hit pause and write that down. All right, so what are some omnivores? Okay, we're omnivores. Many people are surprised to hear that bears are. Bears will eat meat. They love salmon. You've seen them catching fish and salmon, and if they come up on something, and they're able to kill it, well then, they'll eat it as well. But those are the things that they love to eat fish, and they love to eat berries and leaves. So that qualifies them as being an omnivore. Gorillas and us are good examples as well. Apes. All right. Let's see here. The next one is called a detritivore. And a detritivore, if you'll look right here, they get their energy by eating the remains of other organisms. All right, hit pause. Okay, a detritivore eats other organisms, but it doesn't hunt. It will eat the scraps. It will eat the leftovers. A good example is a fungus. I wonder if I've still got the. All right. This is a vulture. They don't hunt. They only eat dead things. And the same thing for mushrooms, they only eat dead things as well. They will eat things that are dead and are rotting, and they will help try to get rid of them. Here you see more mushrooms. Here you can see a vulture right there. Hyena, same way. A vulture. Um, I wish I could find a good picture of a vulture, but vultures we do have here in North Alabama. We have black vultures that are very big birds, and they like to hang out by streets, and they'll eat things that are hit by cars, but they will not hunt. These things that you see here will not hunt. They will come up on something dead and they will start to digest it, but they are not hunters. All right, so basically that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Tomorrow we will finish the lesson. We will do the review sheet. If you'd like to go ahead and be working on the review sheet, you can answer numbers 1 through 14, and that will bring you 1 through 14 ends right here, and you'll be ready for tomorrow. Or you can do it all tomorrow. That is your choice. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day. See ya.